Welcome back to Manglish Medical Lectures. Today we discuss how to read a chest X-ray. So how should you read? You should have a systematic order of approach towards chest X-ray. So let's begin. Whenever you get an X-ray, you should begin with image quality. Is it an PA view or an AP view? Is the chest X-ray rotated? What about inspiration? What about the picture quality? And what about the exposure? After that, then we go to systemic approach, where we have a mnemonic A, B, C, D, E, F. That is airways, bones and soft tissue. And alphabet C stands for cardiac, that is heart. And D for diaphragm. E for extrathoracic soft tissue, field and fissure. That is mainly lungs. So let's begin with AP view versus PA view. In PA view, the X-ray film is in the anterior aspect of the patient. The X-ray moves from posterior to anterior. In AP view, on the other hand, the film is in the posterior aspect of the patient. The X-ray moves from anterior to posterior. So this is the AP view and PA view. Now let's come to the differences. There is no marked difference, subtle differences can be seen, and this is highly variable, okay, because it depends on how the X-ray has been taken and the technical stuff. So the thing to focus here is on scapula. If you see on the AP view on the left side, the scapula is in the lung field, right? On the other hand, the PA view on the right, you can see the scapula is out of the lung field. So the position of scapula sometimes helps us to differentiate between AP and PA view. But the most important thing that you should be focusing on AP view is that heart. In AP view, heart may appear enlarged. We may think it's a cardiomegaly when it's actually not. So don't comment on the heart size in a AP view film. Okay. Now let's get to the image quality. We'll begin with rotation. Rotation is an important factor. So how do we understand whether the film is rotated or not? We have to use the clavicle and spinous process. I'll explain it. First, you need to mark the medial end of clavicle. Okay, that is a medial end of clavicle, and then you can also these spinous processes, right? I'll zoom in so you can see better. So these are the medial end of clavicle and these are the spinal process. Now you draw a midline through the spinous process and you have to measure the distance to the medial end of clavicle. For example, A and B are the distance here, right? So if the distance between the medial end of clavicle and the spinous process is same, that is A equals B, then there is no rotation. If the rotation took place to the right, then B greater than A, and if it is to the left, then A greater than B. That's all about rotation. Now then we come to inspiration. Now inspiration, we usually take the X-ray at full inspiration, and that will be a perfect X-ray, right? Because the diaphragm moves up and down, right? So it will obstruct our view. So how do we understand whether it is a perfect inspiration X-ray? By counting the number of ribs. If you can count up to 6 or 7 anterior ribs, and if you can count up to 9 to 10 posterior ribs, then it is a perfect X-ray. So when you expire, the diaphragm moves up and very less number of ribs can be seen. So that's the concept of inspiration. I hope you guys understood that. Now we move to picture quality. Now the thing about picture is, are you seeing all the important structure? Are you seeing all the important structures? That's the only thing you should focus on. For example, consider this X-rays like this. Can you see the costophrenic recess now? You cannot see the costophrenic angle. So that's a bad X-ray. Now exposure. Exposure is the amount of rays that's going through, right? So if it is adequate exposure, that's good. Or it can be excessive exposure, and sometimes it can be inadequate exposure. Everything will be whitish. So how do we know it is adequate? You should be able to make out the vertebral disc spaces, and you should be able to see the spinous processes. That is what we call adequate exposure. Now let's get to the most important side, and that is systemic approach. We'll begin with the mnemonic A for airway, and we'll be focusing on trachea and carina. So you should look at trachea, whether it is deviated or not to one side. That's the thing you should be focusing on. I'll zoom in so you guys can see better. Now you can see the trachea, right? You can clearly see there is a change in contrast. That's a trachea. You can see the trachea is getting divided also. So that's your trachea. And at the point of division, what do we have? We have the carina. Okay, so two things to look in airway, trachea and carina. Okay, that's all about airway. Now let's come to bone and soft tissue. First we'll begin with ribs. Okay, these are the posterior ribs and these are the anterior ribs. And I already told you in inspiration, you should see at least 6 to 7 anterior ribs and 9 to 10 posterior ribs. Okay, then what are the things you should be looking for here? You should be looking for fractures. Is there any mass? Okay, all these things has to be taken care in the bones and soft tissue section. Now let's come to C, that is cardiac. Here we'll be mainly focusing on cardiomegaly, the borders of the heart. What are the structures we can see? Okay, so let's first finish the cardiomegaly. So first you have to draw a midline using the spinous process. Okay, you have to draw a midline, that's the midline, and I've drawn it based on the spinous process. Now you have to mark the most convex points on the left side and the right side. So we have marked two of the most convex part. Okay, the most convex part has been marked and we measured them, A and B. Okay, now we have to draw a thoracic diameter. How do we draw a thoracic diameter? It's very simple. You have to mark again 2 points, and how do we mark them? Inner aspect of the ribs. We mark them from the inner aspect of ribs at the level of diaphragm. Okay, now we draw a line and that is our thoracic diameter. So we just mark them at the inner aspect of the ribs at the level of diaphragm. So, and we name it as what? Thoracic diameter, and we call it C. So we have A, B and C. I hope you guys understood the 3 measurements. Okay, now A plus B by C is 50%. That is around half, right? That's the normal. If A plus B by C is around 60, that's also normal in children. If it is greater than 50%, then that is cardiomegaly. So that's how we measure cardiomegaly. I think that's now crystal clear. Okay, now let's move to the heart borders. What are the structures we can see in the borders of the heart? Okay, so we can see a number of things. Mainly you should focus on the aortic knuckle. Then sometimes we can see the auricle and the left ventricle. Then we can see the superior vena cava, the inferior vena cava, the great vessels and the right atrium. Okay, so that's all about the heart section. I hope that's clear. So we completed A, B, C, and now we are going to D, that is diaphragm. Okay, so what are the things to focus on diaphragm? We know there are right and left hemidiaphragm, right? We have a right hemidiaphragm and the left hemidiaphragm. And the right hemidiaphragm is normally a little elevated than the left hemidiaphragm, and that's normal. Okay, that's normal up to 1 rib space. And below the diaphragm you can find gas in the stomach. Okay, you should also look for that. And another thing to focus in the case of diaphragm is the costophrenic angle, also termed as the costophrenic recess. Now the costophrenic angle should be very sharp. Okay, I'll explain it in another diagram so you get a better view. These are the costophrenic angle. Okay, these are the costophrenic angle and they should be very sharp, and these are the cardiophrenic angles. Both of them are very important in the clinical aspects. So we have cardiophrenic angle and costophrenic angle. Now we are coming to our next mnemonic and the final one, that is extrathoracic soft tissue, and we'll combine F also, that is field, fissure and foreign bodies. Okay, this is mainly about lungs. So the first thing you should look about lungs are the hilum. Okay, you can see the both hilum and you can see the pulmonary vasculature branching out. You should look for any opacity changes in this area. Most importantly, we divide the lung into 3 zones. To divide the lung into 3 zones, we need to draw 2 lines. The first line, where do we draw the first line? In the anterior aspect of the lower border of the second rib. And the same way, we find the 4th rib, anterior aspect of the lower border of the 4th rib. Okay, so where are we drawing the lines? Come on, repeat with me. Anterior aspect of the second rib's lower border. And the same sentence with 4th rib also, anterior aspect of the lower border of the 4th rib. And these are the 2 lines. Okay, we draw the 2 lines, and these 2 lines divide the lung into upper zone, middle zone, lower zone. So whenever you find a lesion, you refer it to the zones. Okay, so you have to assess lungs very carefully. You should look for the changes in position, infiltration, is there any opacity changes, all those things, you refer them to the respective zones. Okay, that's all about extrathoracic soft tissue and field and fissure. And finally, equipments. You can have pacemaker, nasogastric tubes, endotracheal tubes. How will be the endotracheal tube? You can see the endotracheal tube there, or you can see the nasogastric tube. So you can see such equipments in the X-ray film. So quick recap: image quality RIPE, then systemic approach A, B, C, D, E, F. So let's quickly finish it off. AP and PA view, that's the first thing you look. Do not judge on cardiomegaly in a AP film. Then rotation, using the medial end of clavicle and the spinous process. And then we move to inspiration by counting the number of ribs that you can see there. Then we come to the picture quality. Can you see everything that is important? Then we move to exposure. Right? We talk about exposure, excessive exposure, adequate exposure. How do you define it as adequate exposure? You should be able to make out the vertebral spaces, disc spaces and spinous process. Then systemic approach, A, B, C, D, E. A for airway, we talked about the trachea and carina. Then we talk about B, that is bones and soft tissue, where you have to look for fractures, particular masses, all those things. Then we come to C, that is cardiac. We assist the cardiomegaly. How do we do the cardiomegaly? A plus B by C have to be greater than 50%. Then we talked about the heart borders, all the structure that you can see there. Then we talked about diaphragm, right hemidiaphragmatically elevated, and the importance of costophrenic angle and cardiophrenic angle. And finally, that is E, extrathoracic soft tissue, field and fissure, that is mainly lungs. We divided the lungs into 3. We talked about the things to look for, opacity changes, infiltration, etc. And finally, we finished with various equipments that we can see in an X-ray film. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys really understood. And please let me know in the comment section how you felt. And as always, subscribe and share the channel with your friends. Thank you. Take care.